say, why do they need to do that? It's just unbelievable. You know. Uh, anyway, look, this is really kind of important. Everybody is here because it's their life, and they're here to get energy that can help them in their life. And nobody should take this for granted. I mean, really, there should be joy, there should be love in your hearts, there should be gratitude, that this is possible for us to do. And I have that gratitude. I have just tremendous, overwhelming gratitude that this opportunity to sit with all of you has become possible. Because, each person is here because supposedly they want to grow and change. Everybody wants a deeper inner life, a connection with God. They want joy and love in their life. That's why we're born. We're not born here to be miserable and unhappy. I mean, when infants are born, they come out, they're sweet, they're delicious. You can't take your eyes off of them. They're the center of everybody's attention because of that energy that's coming out of them. We need to understand that basically we all are kind of infants. We have to regenerate inside ourselves, connection with God, spirit, and to understand that every human being is worthy of being happy. Every human being is worthy of having a joyous and fulfilling life. And I've discovered is that most people are just putting it off, procrastinating. Flavio, try to sit up and uncross your hands and do the meditation. Otherwise, the energy is being blocked when you do that. We're all born here. It's kind of like living miracles, every one of us. The fact that we get through the day, we survive the day, we survive all the madness that goes on in the world. It's like living miracles, and we have to be grateful for that. We have to really open our hearts and feel that love and that connection with God. That is the sole reason for these classes. You understand? And that's the reason why everybody should be here to build that kind of an inner life. Without that, what is it about? It's like dead. The world is dead, It's people in conflict with each other, all the games that are played, the mind trips, and the answer is an open heart. It's the answer to every politician's quandary in the world. Just open your freaking heart and it'll all change. Open your heart. God is love. God isn't bullshit, It's bullshit also, but it's bullshit that it's like, like fertilizer that you need to grow an organic garden. That's God's bullshit. We need to use that fertilizer to grow our internal organic garden. So please, everybody, try and open very deeply inside. And we'll have a meditation class. And if you have any questions, you can ask them after the class. I've unmuted everyone. And if anyone has a question they would like to ask, I'd be happy to try and answer.
Yes, Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
I was reading in Rudi's book, Spiritual Cannibalism. He made a statement that the student should demand of their teacher the process of rebirth, not just spiritual growth. What did he mean by that? To demand the process of rebirth from their teacher.
Well, Well, let's start with a very simple answer here. Students really have to demand of teachers. And as Rudi said, not only for spiritual life, but for rebirth, because, rebirth taking place within a lifetime are steps on a ladder towards having a spiritual life. Rebirth represents change, resurrection, the old transforming itself into the new. Now, these are very good concepts, but at the same time, the demands you make of the teacher for the teacher to go really deep inside himself, to transmit energy that can help students in the class undergo a rebirth, transform themselves, change. It's that kind of guidance that is essential teacher gives, because each rebirth, and I don't only mean, the finality of death and then the next lifetime. I mean, within this lifetime, each rebirth is like a step on a ladder that gets one closer to their spiritual enlightenment. And the demands are very simple, I mean, a person has to demand that the teacher really works in depth, and that the kind of teachings that are being given are not just some flip bullshit type teachings, but they really come from years of inner work, training that the teacher had, commitment to a form of work that has saved their life, that has enabled them to undergo rebirth and transformation. And students really need to make that kind of demand. It's like, great students can turn a lousy teacher into a great teacher. I mean, Rudi used to say this all the time. By their need to grow and the hunger they bring to it, the demands they make for inner work, for Shakti, for energy, for the teacher to really go deep inside himself or herself, in order to provide that kind of energy that will enable them to transform themselves inside. A teacher really dreams of students being like that. At least a teacher worth his orange socks, will demand of a teacher, of a student, that they really have to have that kind of need. That kind of need gets the teacher also working in great depth inside himself or herself. So it's all a process. And the communion of Shakti, of energy, the nurturing of students that come, this is really the responsibility of the teacher. At the same time, the student has the responsibility of going very deep inside himself or herself and demanding, not some superficial answer or, some kind of very surface type of Shakti and energy, but something really deep and transformational that can help them undergo rebirth, change inside themselves. Change is essential. We all need to go through it. Without change, we become like stagnant pools of water. So we need to disrupt the stagnant in us. We need to break it down. We need to transform it. A very good way of transforming it is demanding, the teacher going to such depths inside that he provides Shakti that can enable a person to undergo that kind of transformation. Not just sitting in class and taking it for granted that this is as far as one can go. All right, I feel good, the energy's nice, I don't need to do anything more. That's not what this is about. This really is about transformation, change, rebirth. And that's my job here, and I just, before every class, I always say, okay, let everybody really work in depth. People really tap that need in themselves to get to God. Because without that, it's all just very surface and very superficial. So I think Rudi was talking about that, you know, asking, demanding of the teacher that he works in the greatest possible depth that he can work with at any given moment in his life while he's teaching the class. And the teacher's responsibility is to go there, to provide that kind of energy, that nourishment, that Shakti that can help people undergo the transformation and to support people while they're going through it, because those things are not necessarily easy to change like that. And you need support. I'm here to support it. That's my job too, to support people as they undergo those kind of profound changes inside themselves.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I hope this is clear,
Thank
because
you.
it's really very important subject. I talk about it a lot, but I haven't talked about it this way, the demands of the student, the teacher really working in the greatest possible depth that he can work with or she can work with, and everybody communion, there's a communion of energies that way, where people truly support each other as they go through these kinds of changes. I mean, the worst of all is just stagnation. I really mean it. It's really like a disease, stagnation inside people. And if you feel that stagnant energy, then you have a right to demand, I got to go deeper. Stuart, you go deeper. Help me break this up. I don't want to continue to live this way. And I will joyously help you do that, because that's really what this is about. And I know this kind of tests everybody, but so what, So what? I'm here to test you all. You're here to test me, Stuart, stop putzing around. We need the Shakti, And if I'm putzing around, okay, you got to remind me by working deeper and demanding more. I don't putz around too much in these classes. I really try to go very deep. But I also need your help. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Question, Stuart. When we're not meditating, when I'm not meditating with you, meditating daily, eyes always opened. If the eyes are not open, it's not really this practice. It's just a different form of meditation, correct?
Well, look, Wendy, you can do this double breathing with your eyes closed, but what you're doing is you're cutting yourself off from the world. Understand? I don't know. There's something, to me, there's something missing, because we live in this world. We need to have our eyes open. And you can actually do this with your eyes closed. I mean, some people do, and not people in this class, but I know that people teach it. They teach it this way and that way. But, we need to have that connection with life. Understand? I mean, you can close your eyes for a minute or two, it's all right. It's not going to damage you or hurt your meditation. But when you open them, it gives you a connection with life. And you're not only there, but you're centered inside. And this to me is a key element that we have to learn. Because too often the things of life drain all our energies out of us. We get mad, we get angry, we get upset, we get, and we don't have that balance inside that allows us to deal with life and to still stay centered. And that's principally why we do open eye meditation. And I don't know, Rudi never told me this, It took me years of doing this to learn why we do open eye meditation. I mean it. And it's one of the keys. And I know people are much easier to meditate with my eyes closed. Well, easy is not the question here. You understand? It's not about being easy. It's about learning how to master the internal life while we live in the world. That's really what it's about. And that's not an easy thing to do. But it's a prime element in the development of a spiritual life. Because too often people are just sucked dry by the world. People screaming, yelling, fighting, arguing, everybody's right. And all this is a way, years ago, when I lived in Texas, right? They used to, the North Texas State University, they had a big basketball arena there. They would play basketball against other colleges. And I would go to the basketball game in the last 10 minutes, because if it was a close game, people would be screaming and shouting and releasing all this. I would sit there and just take it in. It was staggering. I would sit there and do a meditation and just take in the energy that everybody was just throwing away. And it was amazing. I used to have amazing classes at the basketball arena at North Texas State University when I lived in Denton, Texas. Because everybody's wasting energy. When you're centered and you can take in all that energy, it's amazing how it helps you to grow. At the same time, if somebody scores a basket, you're not screaming your brains out and getting rid of all, stay centered inside. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. There'll be class on tomorrow, Monday. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And again, God bless you all for being here, for doing this, for reminding me what my mission is in life, what I have to do in my life. I really mean it. Seeing 30 some odd people sitting here is just a very good reminder, Stuart, that you have to be here to serve God, not Stuart. You have to be here to serve a higher energy in the universe. And I'm very grateful to all of you for participating in doing this. So there'll be a class tomorrow evening. God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. Wherever you live, have a wonderful evening. Okay. Bless you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you, sir.